Premier African Minerals in the last month has shot up over 1,000%. Life-changing money for anyone that caught the full ride of that, absolutely. In today's video, we're going to have a look at why Premier African Minerals continues to pump, what was the RNS yesterday, and how are the charts looking right now.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Something that happens by chance, I think not.
Welcome back everyone to Buy Hold Sell. I hope of course you are all well. First off, my name's Damien. This is the channel. We love African miners. We can't get enough of the high risk reward penny stocks on this channel. I'm joking. We're trying to get the channel going again properly. We've got a lot of work getting done around the house. We've moved in. It's about 7 weeks on Friday there. Getting contractors out right now, it is insane. Everyone's got 8-10 weeks lead in. If you're a builder, if you're a contractor, life must be good at the moment because some of the quotes that have come in have been scandalous, but we're getting work done, and that is preventing me from getting my studio done or garage converted into glazings in. But getting people in to do the outfitting is taking ages. I've priced all the materials up, got the materials ready to go. Even getting a delivery of materials from a place that's less than a mile down the road is going to take 2.5 weeks. So yeah, snags, let's just say, like any construction project, it runs over, but that's not what we're talking about. We're just doing this video because a few people have messaged saying, you know, will you do a video kind of thing and an update on this, and I'm happy to, because I got looking at this yesterday in the Discord. The RNS came through, the thing shot up, so I suppose let's have a look at the charts. So as I was saying at the start of this video, in the last month, Premier African Minerals, if we look at just this spike, look at this spike, we actually hit nearly a 0.01. Where do you want to start? Say the low of this wick here, right up till about here. You can see here we have, we're pretty much hit 1,000%, which is just insane. I don't think anyone will have caught that rise who was buying in and around this price. Is crazy. But before we look at the proper TA, let's just have a look at it, how it's actually performing on the 6 months. We're up. The year to date, we're up, and on the year, we're back down to 72%. But on the last month, you can see here, 419% as it currently stands. The last 5 days, we did pump really hard, 141%. But we all know that it was a lot more than that. But it sold off, and it sold off pretty bad. Today we're up about 6%. It was up about 12% at one stage there. But this is a good sign. What's bringing all this good news? Why are we up 415%? There's a lot of eyeballs coming back on the Premier African Minerals, and it's quite straightforward. We have a huge resource at the Zulu project. Plenty of lithium in the ground there. We know that. We know that the concentrate is very good. The grading has become very, very good. We know all of this. Our problem is getting it out of the ground and getting it into people's hands. Plenty of suitors, plenty of people wanting this. We've had agreements in place with CAMAX and different companies. Everything is set. All we need to do is get it out of the ground. But that's been the problem. We have no money to do so, in simple terms. So what came out yesterday was an RNS. And the RNS came out from our Commander-in-Chief, and George Roach, who we trust. Premier is pleased to announce that further to the announcement on the 1st of April, Premier has entered a non-binding letter of interest with Glencore. Glencore, for those who don't know, is one of the biggest mining companies in the entire world. This is their bread and butter. This is obviously, to throw the name Glencore, this would be like a startup designer saying Adidas have shown interest in their products. That's the level we're talking about here. This is huge, and that name Glencore is the reason why this spiked well over 180% yesterday in one given day, because this shows interest. This shows a lifeline, I suppose, as well. Regarding the possibility of purchasing spodumene concentrate and repayment and or management of the prepayment amount plus interest owed in respect to the Zulu lithium. So we own a lot of debt. We talked about it in the last video. We have no money currently to do the work that is needed to get the plant working. Plus we have all these debts that need paid. So we're in a really, let's be honest, shitty position. Premier has agreed with CAMAX Technologies to use its best endeavours within the next 3 months to have the letter issued as a binding agreement, subject to preconditions, inter alia, that the plant achieves the required grade and tonnage. So really, for me, the story has not changed. The reason I haven't purchased any more shares in Prem for about a year or so is because this story has not changed. Fundamentally, yes, the stuff's there in the ground. We knew that 4 or 5 years ago when we started investing in this. We followed this along the journey. We have built a plant. We have done all these things that you should be doing. That was all fine. But for the last, 2 years now, we've missed our first sort of deadline. And it's really been a shit show ever since. one problem after another, taking steps, wrong steps, walking on the walls, all this type of thing. That's what we've been doing, and now we have no more money left. George went on to say, Premier appreciate enormously the commitment and persistence from all to get us to this point. Our focus is now firmly set on the final completion and optimization of the spodumene float section. He's been saying that for a year. For those that don't know, we're struggling to get the money to do this, and I can't emphasize that enough. We've went into a lot of the negatives on this channel. Let's actually look at the positive here. This is a letter of intent. Now, what is a letter of intent? Well, it's not something that is legally binding. If we actually go into Investopedia here, it's not something that is legally binding. It's not, there's nothing that any party is going to be held to from both sides. However, it could be legally binding, but it's a serious expression of interest. It is not something that George Roach can fake. If this is true, he's putting this out here. It has to be true. You're not going to be mentioning Glencore. It would be market manipulation. So this is legit, 100%. I fully believe that George Roach has had discussions with Glencore. They have went, yes, we take on your debt, we'll refinance it, and we're interested in your support. We can't get enough of the stuff. But you need to get this to work, guys. And until you do that, we're not interested. So if George can turn that around, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that Glencore would be very interested in. So what you've got it right now in this situation, as far as Prem shareholders go, you've got to ask yourself, is Prem worth a punt at these prices? If you're into your risk, high war, and you love your African miners, it probably is. It probably is worth a punt, a very small proportion of your portfolio, because any type of development here, this thing's going to pop. Now, on the flip side, how are they going to get the development? How are they going to get the plant turned on? Maybe a refinance? Possibly. Someone could come out of the woodwork and go, Jesus, Glencore are interested. You know what? We'll back you. We'll give you the money to do this, to get the machine working, and we'll work out some sort of repayment or interest or whatever. Hand behind the back, guys. George has no options. If anyone wants to come along with the financing, and we're not talking millions and millions, we're talking maybe 100k here to do this. So some finance company might go 100k, I don't know, and we want 50% return on our investment. Hands behind the back, you have no other options. You take that option. So this is what I'm thinking. There could be plenty of finance companies all sniffing around us going, I don't know, Glencore, big, happy little thing. If they're saying this, they're saying that. This whole shit show could get tidied up. All they need is to get the plant working. People could be having a conversation with George. They, interested parties, specialists could be looking at this going, yeah, I think you do. You just need a spanner to tighten that bolt, and that's all we need. And yeah, we'll give you the money to do that. So you've got that option. You've also got the shit option, which is diluting shareholders. This recent pump gives a wee bit more capital for George to potentially do that. We have outstanding shares that need fulfilled, let's just say. So there is that option. Not a great option, not a huge amount of money, but there's an option there. Based on either of those options, dilution, shares going to tank, maybe a refinancing thing's going to pop. And ultimately, the card at the end of the road is, if you do get this working, Prem's back on track. It's been a shit show for 2 years. We bought into Prem in 2020 with a 10-year hold in mind. Didn't want it to go like this, from the highs to the lows, but we are where we are, and we're hanging on deep. So that's really where we're at with this. I think what we need to do now is have a look at the share price, and we'll have a bit of an idea on the technical analysis. So if we actually look here on the day chart, in my last video we were talking about the 200-day moving average. This is the 180-day moving average, which is something that I use in my trading course. Buy symbols come on, huge, very bullish. You can see here as well, the RSI is looking very, very bullish. The MACD has crossed over. This is very, very bullish. So if you're looking at this from a technical analysis point of view, purely on a technical analysis point of view, not factoring in the fundamental news that has caused this pump, this is very, very bullish. And if we actually turn this off and stick on the 200-day moving average, which says we're back into a bull market. The last time we were in a bull market, if we strip this back, was, well, yeah, June 23. So you're going back nearly 2 years. But we really were on the downturn at that stage. The last time, we were in a bull run, when we got into a bull run, it was one hell of a run. So look, from a technical point of view, it's looking very good. What I will say as the caveat is this has been fundamentally huge news that has pumped this. News could die off and fade away. A lot of buyers is what I will also say here. See, this is volume. Look at the amount of people buying here. Premier African Minerals has become, in my opinion, what it was 2 odd years ago. Very attractive. Share price is absolutely nowhere near reflecting actually what we have. We have a £100 million plant. We have a lot of resource. We have a lot of different things outside of Zulu as well. The share price is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Got a market cap of 23 million. It was a lot less yesterday. 23 million. It does not reflect what we have in terms of resource and the opportunity here. However, it is high risk. It's very much high reward, and you need to weigh up those factors when you're considering investing in Prem. I'm not a financial advisor, all that good stuff. I am balls deep in Prem. I'm not buying any more Prem, but that's because I'm balls deep. If I wasn't, maybe I had a small percentage, I think I'd be definitely averaging down here. This is good fundamental news, but watch it very carefully. I fully expect maybe a sideways motion. Potentially, it could even pump a bit more because of those conversations that I said maybe will happen in the background. A financing party might go, fuck here, this is worth a punt here, especially the market manipulation that could happen. Someone could be buying this and then announcement comes out, they know it's going to pump. So be very careful. There's going to be a lot of pumping and dumping within this year, as all penny stocks will have. Things look a little bit more rosy. It's just whether or not George can get someone to actually give him money now, and that's going to really be the deciding factor on Prem. Hope you enjoyed that video. I will start doing good videos once I get my studio made, but we're looking a couple of weeks off yet. But I'll keep dipping in and out with content, and I hope to see you all in the next video. If you can, obviously, please like and subscribe. Help me grow the channel. I appreciate that, and I'll see you then. Peace.